BandUpTevo here, and welcome back to another episode. We're going to be looking at creepy urban legends that turned out to be true. Part 3. Even though we skipped 1 and 2. I probably am going to look at 1 and 2. Probably not. Probably move on to the next thing. Who knows? It's up to y'all. So y'all gotta let me know in the comments if you want to see part 1 and part 2 and so beyond, if I don't get copyrighted. But we're gonna get into the video. Like the video. Please get the likes up to at least 50 if you want, you know, more episodes to this. And comment whatever, and comment down below what else you want me to react to, and we're gonna get into the video. Oh yeah, subscribe if you're new too. So we're gonna get into the video, and I'm trying to get up to at least 100 subscribers real soon. So can y'all help me? I'm almost there. Probably we halfway there. And oh yeah, I forget. I kept on forgetting to tell y'all this too. So once I reach 100 subscribers, I'm gonna do a $100 giveaway. So once I reach my first 100 subscribers, I'm gonna do a video, and well, not right now, but in another video once I hit the 100 subscribers. In the next video, I think I'm gonna say in the video. And matter of fact, I gotta think about it, cause I'm not good at doing this. I'll plan it out, but at the same time, we're gonna get to the video, and yeah, let's get into it.
Uncle Matt's back to tell you a bedtime story.
Urban legends are a favorite among horror fans because they're a way to be creeped out, just like in the movies. But unlike fictional horror movies, some urban legends have their roots in true-to-life stories. Events that really happened, the story of which was passed down to others in a cautionary tale, masked as an urban legend. Here are 10 creepy urban legends that turned out to be true. Part 3. The legend of creatures in the bowl. Have you ever woken up early in the morning to relieve yourself? You stumble in the darkness, half asleep, to the bathroom, and you sit down, only to hear something splashing coming from underneath you. You
I would've got my ass
turn on
up.
the lights, only to find something staring back at you from the bowl. A huge rat.
I would've
Urban
flushed
legends
it.
of
Yeah,
animals
flush that
coming up
shit.
through the sewer system have been around for a long time. But as it turns out, they're based in real-life stories that have actually happened.
Well, yeah,
In a city
alligators
in
and snakes
Australia,
to come
two
out,
different
come
several
up,
foot-long
and
pythons
rats
have been found in 2 separate toilets in a space of a couple weeks in 2013.
What about
where
Florida?
a man's penis was bitten.
Ooh.
In another, and possibly the most well-known story, was from 1999.
That's why before I used the bathroom, I always flush the toilet, and I check underneath the rim all the time, because it's this one video that I seen a long time ago when I don't know how long. I know I had to be in my early 20s, but yeah, in the video it was a spider underneath the seat, and so I think it was at like some type of gas station. The dude, I guess, who worked there lifted up the seat. It was a big ass fucking tarantula, big ass spider or something like that underneath the seat, and rain. I'm like, what the fuck, man? See, that's why I look underneath the seat. I just don't plop my ass down on the seat. And plus, if I'm using a public bathroom, I always put the tissue down, so I don't sit bare ass. If you sit bare ass, you's a nasty motherfucker, and I'm gonna judge you for that.
Where in Petersburg, Virginia, a woman was sitting down on her toilet when a rat jumped up and bit her. These are just 2 of many documented cases. Drain plumbing for toilets is typically 3 inches in diameter or more, which is plenty of space for a creature to climb up, making these events more common than you might think. So next time that you go to the bathroom late at night, you might want to turn on the light and check for yourself if something is waiting for you in the bowl.
Exactly.
The legend of the bunny.
You're gonna learn today.
In the state of Virginia,
you don't know what's
in the
underneath
1970s, there was a story of an escaped mental patient who would gut bunnies and hang them from a specific bridge underpass.
Fuck.
As the story goes, the man became fixated with doing this, but his twisted desire eventually
habit.
could no longer be satiated simply by using animals, and he began graduating to bigger things. He began taking teenagers one by one and gutting and hanging them in the same fashion, always under the same bridge. Local
why
authorities
teenagers?
began cautioning residents of the area to avoid walking even near that bridge.
Leave them kids
and
alone.
certainly never to come near that underpass, which became known as Bunnyman Bridge. As it turns out, this story came from a very real psychopathic man who lived in that area at the time. On October 18, 1970, the Washington Post reported that Air Force Academy cadet Robert Bennett and his fiancée were sitting in a car at midnight near Bennett's uncle's house when a man dressed in a white suit with long bunny ears appeared, yelling at them that they were on private property,
Who'd have got
throwing
shot?
a wood-handed hatchet through their car window.
Self-defense.
2 weeks later, the Bunnyman was sighted again when a security guard spotted a hatchet-wielding man chipping away at a porch railing. As many times as the axe-wielding bunny had been spotted, he continued to elude police who could not find him, despite multiple sightings.
What?
To this day, no one knows who the Bunnyman was, what motivated him, or what disappearances he may have been connected to in the area.
Well, it was back in the day. It wasn't that many cameras out there. It was kind of like sweet to get away with crime and shit because it's not too many eyes watching and stuff. You can always avoid. You can always avoid the cameras because there wasn't so many cameras and it was so much beefed up security and stuff like that. But I don't know how a man in a bunny costume get away because you don't really know who he was. You just know a bunny costume, so he could like go ahead and do his thing in the bunny costume and take it off and hide it somewhere and live his day like normal because you don't know who he really is. You just know the bunny costume.
The legend of Polybius. For several decades, there had been an urban legend that had circulated about a classic video game from 1981 called Polybius, where anyone who played it would experience disturbing and dangerous side effects. The legend came from a real-life story that originated in the 1980s in Portland, Oregon, where arcade games were still popular. There was a game called Polyplay that turned out that anyone who played this particular game would suffer from extreme anxiety, seizures, night terrors, and obsessive desires to continue playing. The game was said to have been housed in an all-black cabinet, and while playing it was fun, gamers noticed that they soon were feeling terrible after their sessions. Some were even said to have attempted to end their own lives. What's even stranger is it was said that men dressed in all black supposedly visited the cabinet every few weeks, not to collect money, but some kind of data from the back of the machine. It's believed that the game may have been linked to MK Ultra, a real CIA program experimenting with behavior modification techniques and LSD that existed over the course of 2 decades. In 1981, 2 kids passed out while playing the game, and 10 days later, the government raided arcades and took games out, including Polyplay, a disturbing reminder that governments are not afraid to experiment on their own people. The legend of Charlie No-Face. For decades in the state of Pennsylvania, there had been a legend of a man with a misshapen face that sneaks around at night, terrifying anyone who sees him. Also known as the Green Man, the legend of Charlie No-Face is the story of a man who was horribly disfigured in a terrible accident that melted his face and lurked around an abandoned train tunnel at night and made electricity go haywire with his very presence. As it so happens, this man was real, and his name was Raymond Robinson. In 1918, when Raymond was just a boy, he was climbing on a train track bridge when he accidentally touched a power line. The shock sent 22,000 volts of electricity through his body, literally melting his face off. The electricity had melted out both of his eyes, his nose, his ear, and even his arm off. He isolated himself and would only come out late at night for walks, which quickly became legend. The legend of the playing card killer. One of Japan's most famous urban legends, There's a story that revolves around a series of killings where the victims all had a single playing card found by each body with the word Alice written in the victim's blood. But this really did occur as recent as the turn of the century in Spain. Between 1999 and 2005, several murders occurred with the very same details. The victims had no relationship to one another, and the killings were unrelated in every way, except for the playing card and the words Alice written in each of their blood. Caught in 2003, 26-year-old former soldier Alfredo Galan was convicted of 6 killings and 3 more attempted. He had initially confessed to the killings but later withdrew his statement and tried to implicate 2 other men, claiming that he had sold them the murder weapon. He was sentenced to 142 years in prison and ordered to pay 609,182 euros to the victim's family.
Damn.
The legend
Money
of the
that he
dog
probably
boy.
don't
In
even
the
have.
state of Arkansas, there was a tale of a
be in jail
werewolf-like
for life
boy
anyway.
who roamed around a small town being cruel and sadistic, torturing animals and eventually even learning to kill. The small town of Quitman had always had urban legends about restless spirits roaming the sleepy town, with deep ties to World War II. But this tale is actually true. In the 1950s, Floyd and Eileen Bettis had a son, Gerald Bettis. Gerald became vicious and cruel at a young age, torturing cats and dogs for pleasure.
Shit.
But as time
And
went
then it's
on,
gonna
the
move
dog
on to
boy's
humans.
actions became more and more sinister, until he eventually imprisoned his parents in the upstairs part of the house
What?
and would feed them only when he decided that it was time for them to eat.
What? So you just gonna let your son just do that to you like that?
His father ultimately died in 1981 due to a broken neck from an accidental fall down a staircase. After this, his mother had had enough. She testified against her son in court, and he went to prison, where he died in May of 1988 at the young age of 34. The legend of the House of Blood.
How he
This is a
died?
tale of a married couple and their 2 young children, and the gruesome events that followed. One day, the mother rises early and starts preparation in the kitchen for a big meal that night. The husband asks the wife what the occasion is, and she simply answers with, "I just want to have a nice family dinner." Later that day, the wife tells the children to go upstairs and play while she prepares the meal. That's when she kills her husband, skins the body, and then chops up the meat, putting it in a large pot with other ingredients. The mess is cleaned up and she invites the children down for their family meal. She makes an excuse about their father having to rush off to work to deal with something, and she sits back and happily watches her children unknowingly eat what remains of their own father. The terrifying
Hey, go ahead. What? No, man. That's crazy. That is crazy. You took a lot of time and them kids was highly occupied. You chopped up the body. You made a meal out the man. What year was this? I want to go back. Let's rewatch that.
After this, his mother had had enough. She testified to 2 young children. Legend of the House of Blood. This is a tale of a married couple and their 2 young children and the gruesome events that followed. One day, the mother rises early and starts preparation in the kitchen for a big meal that night. The husband asks the wife what the occasion is, and she simply answers with, "I just want to have a nice family dinner." Later that day, the wife tells the children to go upstairs and play while she prepares the meal. That's when she kills her husband, skins the body, and then chops up the meat, putting it...
Oh man, just hearing that, it's like, you crazy. I just want to have a minute. And you did that shit quick. You skinned the body. You did that shit quick as hell, and cleaned up quick as hell. Damn. What he do to her? Damn. Hey. Always keep my guard up. can't trust nobody these days.
It in a large pot
It
with
might be a
other
meal.
ingredients. The mess is cleaned up and she invites the children down for their family meal.
But that do
she
look
makes
good,
an
though.
excuse about their father having to rush off to work to deal with something, and she sits back and happily watches her children unknowingly eat what remains of their own father. The terrifying truth is that this legend is based on real events.
I feel sick to
In
my
February of
stomach.
2000, Catherine Knight butchered her partner. Catherine worked at a slaughterhouse, and she used all of these skills to remove the head and chunks of meat from the body. It was only because her neighbor happened to see blood on the outside door that they had called the police. When the authorities arrived, they found Catherine's partner's head cooking in a pot. In front of each of the 3 plates on the table was the name of the murdered husband's children. Catherine was planning to feed them their own father, perhaps even feasting on him herself. The legend of Slave Master. For over 20 years, there had been stories about a sinister figure going by the internet handle Slave
That
Master.
smell.
These rumors
It gotta
made
smell
sense
different.
considering this urban legend actually happened. A woman curious about experimenting with S&M peruses chat rooms on the dark web. It's there that she's soon contacted by a man calling himself Slave Master. He persuades her that he will fulfill her fantasies in a safe environment. He picks the woman up and drives her out to some farmland where he
you
lives,
fucked up.
and miles away from anywhere, he ties her up.
You
But she
did.
soon realizes that Slave Master isn't there to fulfill her fantasies, but his own.
His own.
He brutally tortures and even kills her, keeping her body in a metal barrel. As it turns out,
man.
Slave Master was a real man called John Robinson. The urban legend grew after he was arrested for brutalizing 2 women that he met in an internet chat room. Although they were lucky enough to escape after their disturbing calls to the police, law enforcement soon searched the land Robinson owned and discovered something gruesome. They had found several bodies in metal canisters. Since then, he had been linked to many more violent killings. The legend of the Gravedigger.
My man
Another
was
urban
hard.
legend based on real events is the tale of the Gravedigger. Late one night, a gravedigger was doing his rounds walking through a cemetery. He heard a faint whisper coming from somewhere nearby, but the graveyard was empty. As the gravedigger followed the voice, it grew louder, and it soon became clear that it belonged to a young girl. She repeated, "Help me, help me, help me," over and over again. That's when the gravedigger found the source of the voice. It was coming from a grave. Standing next to the tombstone and reading the dates, the gravedigger asked loudly, "Did you die in September?" The voice of the girl replied, "I was buried in September, but I never died. Help me, I'm still alive." The gravedigger then shook his head and said, "It's now August, whatever you are, you can't possibly be alive." So he left the grave untouched and walked away as the girl's screams faded into nothing. As it turns out, this used to actually happen more than you might think. During the 19th century, exhumed graves showed bloodied scratch marks on the underside of coffin lids. As it turns out, back in the day, medical science was not an exact science, and people who were in a coma or other condition were sometimes assumed dead and were buried alive. People were being buried prematurely, some of them alive and then waking up, screaming for their lives and scratching at their underground prison until their fingertips were worn down to the bones. The legend of the man-eater. One of the creepiest true urban legends is that of the man-eater.
That's a
of
fucked up
Colorado.
way to
the
go,
tale is
man.
about a man who would find hitchhikers, kill them, and then eat them. Colorado is a state known for its active
Hell no.
residents,
That
so
sound
it's
like something
always
that would
had
happen
lots of
there,
hikers
man-eater.
who enjoy being alone in the wilderness. And this is exactly what the real-life man-eater of Colorado, Alfred Packer, used to capture his victims. Sometimes he would befriend people and bring them into the mountains with him.
Be careful
and
who
other
you
times
befriend,
he would
bro.
go into
If
the
you too
mountains
friendly,
to
I don't give a
hunt
fuck.
on his own. He would bring them food and did all that he could to remain trustworthy. On one occasion, he took 5 men into the mountains, and while they all disappeared, Alfred strangely turned up alone at the local saloon, warm and well fed. When things started to get suspicious, he was questioned by police, who who simply claimed he had fallen behind, surviving on small animals with no idea what happened to the others. That was until they discovered he had all of their wallets stashed in his backpack. After being caught, he claimed he found another traveler named Shannon Bell, who had slaughtered everyone with a hatchet and was cooking their flesh over a fire. But the police did not buy the 31-year-old story, and he was sentenced to decades in prison. This urban legend even inspired Cannibal the Musical from the creators of South Park. And in a disturbing twist, even the University of Colorado named their cafeteria after Packer.
What?
The Alfred G. Packer Memorial Grill.
No.
And believe it or not, their slogan is "Have a friend for lunch." Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this, please share it and leave a like.
Alright, that's the end of the video. That is crazy. That was interesting. Hey, let me know what y'all think below. Like, that was crazy. I like that shit had me at the edge of my seat. That shit had me like kind of like almost sick. Like, the fuck? That's some sick ass shit. You tell your family that I just want to have a special dinner for the family. And whole time the father is the main course. Like, what the fuck, man? I gotta chill. Like, if you done with me, just leave me. You don't gotta kill me, you don't gotta harm me. I just wanna leave in peace. If you hate me that much, I'll leave. But anyways, please like the video, get this video up to at least 50 likes. Subscribe if you're new, trying to get up to at least 100 subscribers real soon. Almost there. Once I hit 100 subscribers, then I'm gonna give out a random person $100, but I'm gonna do a video first before I even do that. So after when you see the video, then that's when you do your thing. But I'll let y'all know. Once we hit the 100 subscribers, then I'll let y'all know. But I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.